Escape to the world of your dreams with Windows Mixed Reality and hardware from Acer, Dell, HP, Lenovo, and Samsung. You can escape the everyday into a world of imagination. Personalize your virtual home with great content and surround yourself with apps from 20,000 available titles. Pre-order your Windows Mixed Reality headsets now at firstlooks.tv/Microsoft.
All right, so we're here with our next interview. Hi.
Hi, my name is Russell. I am a senior mentor on Team 4997, and I'm also a senior mentor for the rest of the teams at Middleton High School.
Awesome.
Okay. All right, so what does being a mentor mean?
So being a senior mentor for our club at Middleton is you help all of the newer students to robotics. So any of the freshmen who have questions about using tools or how to build a specific thing, they can come up to you, ask you, you show them, continue that knowledge so that when they have to teach, they have that understanding so that all of the next freshmen, all of the next sophomores, and whoever will have that knowledge so that the knowledge continues throughout the years.
Okay, so being a senior mentor on the Masquerade team, does that mean that you aren't necessarily like an active member, or what? How does that work?
Well, I'm a senior mentor for the club, and then I am the head designer on Masquerade.
Okay.
So I'm doing most of the CAD and most of the CAM for whatever we're going to be milling or fabricating. And then I'm also helping others within the club and on other teams.
Okay.
All right.
So Masquerade does most of its own machining and fabrication work. Do you guys do that at the school? Do you have the facility for that?
Middleton High School has a CNC mill, and we have almost all of the materials that we need. So we just buy the aluminum for whatever we need to machine, and then we make the model ourselves. I make the model, and then I would use software to make the CAM, and then one of our teachers at Middleton knows how to use the CNC machine, and he walks you through the process so you can mill out whatever you want with a little bit of help,
and
but you're still doing most of it.
The CAM,
yeah.
What is the CAM?
So the CAM is you take your model and you use software to tell the CNC machine where to go instead of writing it yourself.
Okay, that makes sense. So what program do you guys use usually when you're doing your CAD work?
So we use Autodesk Inventor, and then Autodesk Inventor has a plugin called HSM Express, which is what we use for the CAM.
Okay.
And they work really well together, so that's just what we stuck with.
Awesome.
So starting out as a senior mentor, were you just thrown in there, or were you taught how to be a mentor?
Well, it's something that really only started this year.
Okay.
So the club leadership explained it as just how I explained it, which is just helping the younger teammates, which is not something you really need to be taught as a senior because I've been on the team for 3 years now. So
is that a requirement?
No, it's for seniors who you do have to know a fair amount about robotics to be a senior mentor so that you can actually teach, but you don't have to have. There's no specific amount of years that you need to be on any of the teams to be a senior mentor.
Okay.
So being in first, how has that helped you throughout your high school experience?
So being in first has really brought together the hands-on learning that I participate in at my school. So a lot of the things that I learned in my engineering classes, I used maybe that day even in robotics. So it was a really good way to solidify the information that I learned in a way that stuck with me because I remember doing it.
Okay.
I remember learning something and being able to put it to use in a real-life application, which then I can use for the rest of my life.
Okay. So for the people that don't know, Middleton is a magnet program?
Yes, Middleton is a magnet program. So we have engineering, biomedical, we have a game design magnet, and we also have a CSIT, which is a computer science and technology magnet.
Okay.
All right, and then can you explain your magnet program?
So I'm in the engineering magnet, so the classes that we take are closely related to engineering. The first year class is Introduction to Engineering Design, and it's a really interesting course because as you progress throughout the magnet, you'll realize that class maybe wasn't necessarily hard, but that the transition from typical learning to this magnet learning was really difficult in the way that you had to kind of relearn how you learn.
Okay. All right.
And then the next year would be Computer Integrated Manufacturing and Digital Electronics. After that is Principles of Engineering. and a engineering elective, and the final year is what's called EDD, which is Engineering Design and Development, where it's a capstone project where you spend the entire year doing one project.
Okay. And then cool. Being a senior, so what are your plans for after high school?
So my plans are to try and get into the best engineering college that I can, and from there on, I would like to just spend time with the company and during my college experience, so that afterwards I have a job waiting for me that I can, hopefully fulfill a spot in.
Are you planning on sticking with FIRST?
Yes, I do plan on sticking with FIRST. The top college on my list is actually WPI, which writes WPI lib for the FRC robots.
Okay.
So I'd be participating in FIRST there, which I'm excited about if I do get in.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of networking that goes on at FIRST.
Yeah.
There's a lot of engineers, and your future bosses are mentors and end up being your friends here at FT's First Tech Challenge, First Robotics Competition. They end up being your mentor, best friend. Hey, come over, have a pool party, kind of guys you hang out with.
Yeah, it's really great because education is very important, but having the connections is sometimes even more important.
Yeah.
So getting those connections in FIRST is a real leg up. It's something that you can't really get many other ways, so it's extremely valuable.
Barry Bonzak, one of the
just about to go there.
the guy who runs around with golden shoes and a jumpsuit with an umbrella hat, he is one of the major guys in the Orion project with NASA.
Even if you weren't planning on sticking with FIRST, if that was not your initial plan, it will be your plan when it comes to Barry. Like you will be a part of the Alumni Association, and you will have a good time because Barry makes it a good time.
Yeah. I do remember at Worlds 2 years ago when I received my award, I yelled, "I love you, Barry Bonzak."
Exactly. And then we even have NASA tours once a year, just going out over to the Kennedy Space Center. And
the alumni gets to tour
awesome.
the vehicle assembly building.
It's awesome.
Yeah, being a FIRST alumni is definitely something I look forward to because it does seem really fun and really engaging.
Fantastic.
It's just as fun as being a member of the team without any of the stress of actually working on a robot.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you wanted to put a plug out for your team, like where could people find out more about your team or learn to join? What can they do and where can they go?
So we have a couple of social media accounts. I don't remember the handles by name, but FTC 4997 Masquerade, Google search will probably get you there. And if anyone is at ROBOTICON right now, we have a poster board up near the FTC area, and there's a small QR code that you can scan if you're interested in helping out the team.
Awesome.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming out and talking to us today.
Yeah.
Have a good one.